Let's make a circle zipper pouch. We have some binding, a zipper, zipper, four zipper panels, two exterior, two lining. This is our tab for the D-ring, which is 1/2 inch. We have two pieces here, and this will be the base. All the measurements will be in the description. Also, there will be a circle pattern. I will link to it that you can download to make this. Or you can use something circular and to get the shape. These are in seams that I cut up. It's about 2.5 inches each. We have four. I'm just going to do some kind of design on the front with it. And we have the two lining and the exterior. The other exterior piece. Both are backed with foam. I put some stitching across. They're 1/2 inch apart, just to hold the foam in place. So let's begin. First, I'm going to do a little decoration in the front. This will be my front panel, and I'm going to use these to make like a tic-tac-toe, I don't know, sign. Nothing special, I'm just going to lay them like this. So add a little design to the front. And then I'm going to sew them down and continue with the back. So let me sew the first two in place. Let's make sure that we can go over it. This is our swivel hook. It's 1/2 inch wide, and so my strap or swivel tab needs to be 1/2 inch wide as well. So this piece of fabric is 1 inch wide, and I fold it in towards the center so that I get 1/2 inch. And now we're going to sew it in place. So I'm going to place it like this inside of our swivel hook, and we're going to bring the two ends together. It's right sides together. So as you can see where the middle is. And now we're going to open it up just at the edge, like this, on both sides. And match up the raw edges. And I'm going to stitch across about 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to fold it back the way it was. I'm going to stitch around the edges. You know what? I decided I'm not going to sew on the edge now. I'm just going to sew it in place. and that should take care of the edges. So I'm placing this at or about where I joined it, this with a hook. Make sure the edges are folded in. Edges are short, so it might give a bit of trouble to stay. Okay, so this is what you want. Now we're going to sew down the sides. So I'm going to place it on my, this is the exterior back, and I'm placing it here in the center of this piece. Just going to eyeball it. If you want, you can measure and make sure that it's in the center, but just eyeball it. And I'm placing the tab a little way in. Let's see, about, could be about an inch away from the edge, because we have to sew around here, so we don't want this to get in the way. So I'm just going to sew this in the center. If you have Wonder tape or some kind of glue, you can use it to hold this in place until you can stitch it, or you can use a pen. And then before you do your stitching, I'm going to change the sewing machine foot. I'm going to use, I don't have a narrow foot. If you have a narrow foot, you can use that. I will use my zipper foot. So I can sew as close to the edge as possible. Okay, let's see what we get here. All right. I'm taking my time to get the foot in place. I'm thinking I need to switch across. Let's see. So we can have a balanced foot. I'm going to change the position of my zipper foot. Place it on the outside. Just make sure the needle is not hitting anywhere. Nice. Let's see if we can get the foot in place. Nice. So we're going to use our hand wheel and lower the foot. I'm going to increase my stitch length to 3. And stitch. You can use the hand wheel when you're getting close to the edge, just to make sure you don't go over. Also, as you can see, oh, you can't see. Okay, let's help you. I need something to balance the foot. I'm going to place a piece of fabric underneath the foot to balance it. I'll show you what I'm doing in a bit. Nice. So this is what I'm doing. The foot was hanging off, most of it is hanging off to the back. So the back of the foot would have been lower than the front, and we don't want that. We want a balanced foot so we can get straight and neat stitches. So I took a piece of fabric, same fabric like I'm using, and I place it behind to even out the foot. And then I'm going to continue around. I may need to add this piece of fabric on this side again when I'm going up here in order to balance the foot again on this side. And then we may or may not go across. We'll see what happens. Hand cranking to get as close as possible to the bar before I turn. This is our strap tab in place. Looks pretty good to me. Now we shall continue. So these are 2 exterior pieces complete. This is the back and this is the front. Now we're going to add our lining pieces to the exterior back. So we have our 2 lining pieces here. I was going to stitch these in place, but I decided to reduce the amount of stitching that I'll be doing, and I'm going to add just a light glue. Nothing special, just regular washable glue. And I think this can be used on, yes, paper and cloth and so on. So I'm going to use some of this to hold our lining and exterior together. Cool. I don't know if this will work, but let's try it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. I don't want it to soak through the fabric, so I'm going to spread it. Okay, let's get it tacky. And now I'm going to add my lining. Okay, I guess that will do. I didn't glue the edges. Maybe I shouldn't. What's it? It's just something light, nothing, not too much. Okay, I think this is okay. It went through a little bit, but it's alright. It will dry. Okay, moving along. We'll set these aside, and then we'll come back to this later on. Next, we want to sew our zipper panel. So sew a zipper, it's about the teeth, 7 inches, and the ends make up 8 inches in all. These are the 4 panels, 2 for the exterior, 2 lining. These are all recycled materials. I got these from an old pair of jeans. So, and the lining is from a bed sheet. So, recycled materials is what I'm using here. So this is our zipper. I'm going to place the exterior panel right sides facing, matching the edges. Then I'm going to take some clips to hold it in place. I'm going to add the lining as well to the other side. So we have both a lining and exterior piece in place. I'm going to start at this end, so I'm going to pull the zipper pull away, a little ways down, out of the way, like this. Then I'm going to stitch here, and then I'm going to pull it back up. I'm using peach fabric on the underneath, so I'm going to change the bobbing thread. I'm going to replace my peach thread into the bobbin. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to change the position of my zipper foot. I'm going to stitch. Make sure that the needle is not over the zipper teeth, otherwise the needle is going to break. So take your time and use the hand crank and lower the foot slowly to make sure it's clear of the metal teeth. Now we're going to stitch forward and backward and then continue. Just take your time as you go along. Now I'm going to pull back my zipper. Raise the foot, pull out of the way, and continue. Here we are. We've stitched the zipper onto an exterior and lining piece. Now you will pull the fabric pieces away from your zipper, like this. You can press, but I don't feel the need to press. I'm just going to use my fingers, make sure the fabric is not too close to the zipper teeth. And we're going to take it back and we're going to top stitch. Make sure the fabric doesn't move. I'm going to clip. Okay, I'm going to open up the zipper again and stitch. Lower the foot, lift the foot, lower the needle and lift the foot, and then we're pull our zipper back. Lower and continue. Okay, so one side is complete. We're going to repeat the steps for the other side. I have the fabric turned wrong side, so I'm sewing with black thread on the pleat side. So I'm just going to turn over. I'm going to sew on the black side first. Oh, you see the nesting here? The tension on my machine is off. The top thread is being pulled to the bottom. So I have to sort that out. If you see that happening, it's because the top thread is, the tension is too loose. You need to tighten the tension to prevent the thread from coming through to the bottom. Ooh. I tightened my tension, but not tight enough, apparently. Maybe I need to re-thread. That could be the problem. Maybe the top thread is not threaded properly, so I'm going to have to sort that out. But this is what we have so far. We have our zipper panel complete. Top stitched, this is the back. Don't mind the horrible stitching. I'll sort that out at some point. I just want to finish this. I don't want to stop and then have to continue and back and forth and that. But if you're encountering this problem, you should check your threading, re-thread your machine. If that doesn't work, tighten your tension. If that doesn't work, your machine probably needs servicing. Maybe mine does. Okay, let's move on. This is the base. We'll add the base to our zipper panel to complete the gusset. As I said, all the measurements will be placed in the description below. You can also click the link in the description to download the pattern. So this is my zipper panel. We're going to place our exterior piece right sides facing. I'm just marking the center of this piece to make sure it lines up properly. So we're going to do one edge first, just like a eyeball of the center. Or, to be sure, my base is smaller or narrower, a bit narrower, not much, than our zipper panel. So what we can do, make sure and measure the two and remove the excess. So this one is about 2.5 inches wide. The zipper panel, almost just a little bit, 8 wider. I don't think that's a problem. You know what, we're not going to trim it down. We're going to go ahead, and at the end of it, we'll just remove what needs to be removed. You have to be perfect. Try to be perfect, you never get anything done. Just have to do it. So what we have is the lining base facing the lining of the zipper panel, the exterior base facing right sides with the zipper panel. Now we're going to sew across here about a little over 1/4 inch. We just as close to the zipper pull as you possibly can. Just don't sew over try to sew over the zipper. So just, you can measure it if you like to make sure, and then you can go ahead. Let's make sure to backstitch. I did not backstitch just now, but I'll sew that out. So I think we can go a bit closer to the zipper. In order to do that, I'm going to place my zipper to the extreme left. Which is probably the right if you're watching. I'm not sure. So use a foot as a guide. Nice. To get here. Right. For you beginners, remember to backstitch the beginning and the end. Let's see if we got closer. Yep. Looks close enough to me. So we're going to pull. We're going to do the same thing for the other end. Just match up the edges. Pull this away from the lining zipper section. No, what am I saying? You just continue like this. Just measure up. So the lining towards the lining and exterior towards the exterior. I think I'm hungry. I'm losing grip on reality. So let's go ahead and sew across. Now we're going to turn it over, and we should have this. Don't worry, we'll trim away what needs to be trimmed away. So now we pull it like this, so the inside should look like. And now we want to stitch across here. Removing the table. Which doesn't help much, but I think I've gotten a bit closer than I was before. The other side. So our gusset is ready. Now we're going to sew the gusset. Final step, well, almost final step. We're going to sew the body and the gusset together. Hopefully it fits. Like so. So what we have to do now is put some cuts. We'll put some short cuts all around. Make sure you're not cutting deep into your seam allowance. reason for doing this is so that the fabric will spread as you lay it against to go around the curves. This is kind of time consuming, but it is necessary. I think I'm cutting too deep. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're going to turn this over to the lining side. Some of the lining is not cut. Okay, this looks okay. Let's see here. Right, let's make this happen. So we're going to move our tab or swivel hook out of the way. Don't want to stitch over that. Also, find the center of your gusset and matching up the sides. And then I'm going to pull out. I'm just going to rest a pin here. Now we're going to snip here, 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 and here. Really, I just need to do the top. Anyways, let's go ahead. Again, you don't want to go too deep, so it's something to mark. Right. So it's the mark we made. We're going to line it up with a mark that's already here. Before we do that, we're going to open up the zipper. It should help it to lay a bit flatter. So you can see we're spreading the fabric. Let's match up the other center point. Okay, so we have a bit more space than we need. Spreading just a bit too much, so let's make sure. Okay, so we have a bit more than we need. We'll see how we can straighten it out, flatten it as we go around. So we're going to take this up here and stitch around. I'm going to start at the center. I have to change my thread on the top because both sides are peach, so we don't need a black thread. What did I do with the thread? Let me find it. stitching is not perfect. I'm going to adjust the measurements for you guys because the fabric was too much in the base, and so we have some folding. As such, I will make the base a bit shorter in length to remedy that. Okay, not too bad. This is what we've got. And I'm going to repeat on the other side. So this is our front exterior piece. How do you think I should put this? Straight like this or on the side? Let's see. But then I won't be able to see. I think this looks better. Or in an angle. I think I'll do an angle. Doesn't matter. I'm not using a center point. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to place this in. Okay, so I'm going to sew the second exterior piece on. I did a bit of folding here so that it kind of matches with the previous section. And hopefully it doesn't look too bad at the end of it. Don't worry, I'll adjust the size so that you have the correct measurement to use. Okay, so let's finish this. This part is a bit tricky. I'm just doing what I have to get it on the foot. Nicely. What is happening? So this is what we have. I had a bit of trouble. As you know, I don't have a heavy-duty sewing machine. I'm using not a heavy-duty, an industrial sewing machine. I'm using a heavy-duty Singer machine. And sometimes I have trouble with the stitching, but that's okay. So as you can see, the stitching is not perfect. You have some nesting. Also, I don't recommend you using the glue that I use. Use some fabric glue. I also have a light adhesive glue that I should have used, but I was lazy to look for it, so I used what was closest to me. And the good thing about this glue is washable. So once you wash the bag, this excuse me, this will wash away. So that's okay. This is what we have. Because our base, just know that you have mistakes and so on as you go along your sewing journey. And don't worry about it. It's all in the learning process. And even though I've been making bags for a little bit, I still make mistakes myself. So that's okay. Yeah, just push forward. You correct yourself. You make the changes that you need to make, and you keep pushing through. So this is what I have so far. The tension was a mess, and you know what? I'm going to show you it. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to do it over. I'm going to show you that it's okay to make mistakes. You will learn from it and be better next time around. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to adjust the measurement on the base, as I said, so that you won't have this problem here. It's just a bit. It's about, let's say, about ½ an inch. I will remove from that measurement, and then it will fit perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is, the final step is to attach the gusset, because we don't want these raw edges inside of our bag. So I'm going to use some binding that I made myself. I didn't do a very good job. Maybe another time I will do a tutorial showing you how to make your own binding at home, now that I have the tape maker. And so this binding is half an inch in width. The whole thing is 2 inches wide by however long you need. You can just measure around both sides, and I will tell you how much binding you need. I'm not sure I have enough here. I will get some more. But to cover the raw edges, we will place this and like this, and that should take care of the raw edges that we have showing here right now. And even the horrible stitching that I have will disappear. So sometimes you just, don't worry about the little things. You will find a way. You'll come up with methods to remedy those issues that you may encounter as you continue your sewing. So I'm just going to place this here and try to catch it. The point of it, when doing binding, you have to sew the top, and then you make sure to catch the bottom. So what you can do is arrange it in such a way that the bottom that you can't see is a bit longer than the front. So like if you have it like this, just a touch, just to make sure that you catch the bottom. Make sure that the front is just a tiny bit shorter than the back. So this looks like measurements pretty good. And I'm just going to clip this on and sew. If you find that your seam allowance is too big, you can trim it down a bit. Just make sure not to go over your stitching. As I can see here, if I trim this, I will cut my stitching that I just made. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm just going to go over this little section here that is kind of out of whack. So I'm trying to go as close to the foam on the inside as possible to sort this out. And the other areas not too bad. It's okay. Let's see. Okay, over here it's okay as well. Maybe here needs to a bit of an adjustment. So let me sort this out real quick. See, I went in a bit closer to the foam, and this looks much better than it did before. But you don't even have to worry about that, because when you cover with your binding, whatever mistakes you made is not going to show. But I wanted to trim this down a bit, so that's why I had to go back in and run another stitch. So I find it's a bit too bulky in this area. So I'll trial and error till you get it right. I don't usually make these tiny bags. That's something I wanted to try. And I also want to leave the mistakes in so that you see that you don't have to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. Okay, so that is better. Let's see on the other side. This area here seems a bit short, but it's okay. So I'm just going to cut it out a tiny bit. Not too much. Okay, it's messy. There's a special way to end your binding, but I don't know that way, so I think you're supposed to put these two together, sew them together, and then finish up. But I cut it too short, and now I can't do that. Otherwise, I would have turned it this way. I wonder if I can make it. Let's see if we can manage. Turn it this way. Sew the two together. Ooh, this is too much. Turn it this way, sew the two together, then turn it back and finish up. You can do that. Just make sure you don't cut it as short as I did. Maybe in the next round I'll do it that way. For now, I'm just gonna finish it because it doesn't matter. You can just fold in the edge here and bring it over. Just kind of make it a little presentable. Okay, so that's one side finish. I did a horrible job. I don't normally use the binding method for sew bags. I like everything to be finished neatly on the inside, but I wanted to try it. And it's safe to say that I did a terrible job. Just horrible. I probably won't be doing this again. I have another circle bag that I want to do, but I don't know about this binding method. I'm going to have to find another way to get that done, because this method, not my favorite. Look at this. I don't like this at all. But I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to share it with you. Oh my goodness. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to share it with you. Because why should I go through this by myself? Nope, I should not. So let's just push through, because right now I'm extremely hungry. But I don't want to have to come back to this, so I'm just going to push through and get it done. Just so I don't have to see this again. Probably the worst looking bag I've ever made so far. Oh, but I'm not upset about it. It's great. This is, I don't know, a learning experience. Now I know that binding is not my cup of tea. Maybe I'll try it again, just to see if I can get it right. Okay, so let's try to see if we can get a neater finish. And the ends. Okay, so how do I have to do this? I have to, let's see, get this close as possible here. And then I'm supposed to be able to have enough to turn this around. Wait, why did I choose this? Turn this around like this and match it up. And sew it like this. Let's see if that will work. Let's try it. Doesn't hurt to try something. Nope, why did I unpin here? Okay. Turn them right sides together. Why is this? Why is this so hard? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong. What if? Okay. And then so and so. You know what? I'm not going to try that because I'm confusing myself. So we're just going to finish it up the same way I did before. this is not the right way, but I just want to finish. I just want to get this done so I can go get me something to eat. This is taking too long. Why does it take so long to make a tiny bag? This don't make any sense. Okay. I had this bag prepped since December and did not get around to doing it. Whoa! Did I break the needle? Oh my goodness, I'm almost there. Yes. It's finally over. It's done. However, it looks, that's it. I am so done with this bag. So done. Okay, I missed some spots, but I'm not even worried about it. This is what it looks like. Oh, don't look so good on the inside. Let's see how it looks on the outside. Oh my goodness. Why did I choose this method? Whoa. I'm not even gonna try and tidy it up. Just these small bags are a trip. Okay. This is what the outside looks like. This is the inside. Don't look too closely. It's horrible. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is a mess. A hot mess. I can do better, but I just wanted to get this over with. The bottom had too much material, so I have to shorten that. And this is what the bottom looks like. A mess. This is the front. The front is not too bad. Kind of like the little design in the front here. So there's a little design in the front. We have a little tab in the back, or a zipper. Oh my goodness. Just this bag was supposed to be able to attach to a crossbody strap. That's why I put this here. You could attach it to a bigger bag, and this could just be hanging on the outside. It needs to be shaped and all that. This is the ugliest bag I've ever made. Oh my goodness. It took so long. Like tiny bags. I don't know. I'm not good at making tiny bags. These bags are too small. I don't know what is. Every style. Like every mistake can be a style. Who knows? So this is the back of it. You can attach it to a bigger bag, crossbody strap, whatever you want. This is the front. I just love this little design in the front. And it had potential to be a very sturdy, cute bag, but it didn't work out that way. But I recently got these some new wand clips, and I didn't have anywhere to put them. And guess what? I'm going to use this bag to store my wand clips. So it serves a purpose after all. So my wand clips now have a home. That's what I'm going to keep in here. I just had it in a little bag of it came in. So that's it. Wand clips. Not so bad after all if you squint. Oh my goodness. You know, there we go. If you don't have a wand clips and you'd like to purchase some, you can click the link in my description for my Amazon storefront, and you will see some wand clips and other bag making hardware and so forth. I also did a video talking about where you can find high quality hardware products for bag making online. You can check that out. I may also put it somewhere in the description. So that's it. Bye bye.